Welcome to the Cigar Rebel community, where indulgence meets authenticity. This is more than a podcast. It's a gathering place for those who savor life's luxuries with unapologetic passion. Here we celebrate the fine art of living through rich flavors, bold spirits, exquisite cigars, and unforgettable experiences.
Welcome back, Rebels. Whether you are lighting up on your back porch, sitting in your favorite lounge, driving home from work, or sneaking away for a little peace and quiet with a cigar, we are glad that you are here with us tonight. I'm Mel.
And I'm Kevin, and we're excited to be here tonight. And this is Cigar Rebel, the podcast where we celebrate great cigars, great conversation, and the culture that brings us all together. Today's episode is one that I've really wanted to do for a while. It's called the Duel, because we're about to challenge one of the biggest assumptions in the cigar world.
Yes, and that is that an expensive cigar automatically means that it's better.
Exactly. And today we're conducting, as I said before, what we're calling
the Duel.
We each have two cigars. We have two guests live with us here tonight. We'll introduce them here in a moment. And jumping on stage with us, we also have two people joining us here virtually, and we're all smoking the same two cigars. One costs less than $13, and the other one costs more than $28. In fact, the one that the six of us are smoking was $32.50 when I purchased it. So we have a $12.50 cigar and a $32.50 cigar.
Yes, so both the cigars have had the band removed. So there is no labels, no brand names, no price tags, no assumptions. It's really just all tobacco. So really by the end of this episode, we're going to see whether we can identify that expensive cigar. And more importantly, we're going to talk about whether the price and the value are the same thing. So Rebels, go ahead, cut, light, and settle in.
Absolutely. So before we jump in too far, Mel, what are we smoking tonight?
So we're not doing that just yet. That would give it all away.
Yeah, that's so true, so true. And so we're going to be smoking the cigar. And guys, I really tried to get her to give it away. But tonight, as I said, we're not doing this alone. We have four panelists with us to join us on this adventure in tasting, scoring, and really seeing which cigar comes out on top in the duel. And so, Mel, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest tonight?
Awesome. So joining us virtually tonight, we have Leslie and Dwayne Korn. So welcome back to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for having us
Thank you
back.
for having us.
And then next, live in studio, we have Chris Flanagan and we
Hello,
have Roper. So thank you guys for doing that with us tonight. We're excited.
Yep.
Thank you for the cigar.
Yeah.
Welcome all to the podcast. Thank you again for being here tonight. And this is going to be a lot of a conversation tonight. So, Mel, why don't you walk us through what's happening tonight and how the duel is going to work?
Yes. So all six of us are smoking both cigars tonight. So the six panelists. And then some of you may have noticed we did not do our normal cut and light to kick off our episode as we normally do because we don't want to give any of our cigar details out until later. So we did go ahead and we cut this first cigar about 30 minutes ago because to get both cigars in one podcast, we wanted to start the first one off a little bit early.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in a few moments, each of our panelists are going to end up scoring the cigar and really documenting that. And then later in the show, we'll share a lot of that with you. But all six of us, as Mel said, is smoking the cigar tonight. We did light about 30 minutes early so we could get through the first cigar and then get into the second cigar here in about 10, 15 minutes from now as we go along tonight.
Yes. So also in a few minutes, our panelists, they have a Cigar Rebel blind cigar rating cigar card for cigar number 1. And then they can fill that out before we move on to cigar number 2. And we're going to smoke them, both cigars, for the same amount of time, which is why we lit this one a little bit early. And the rating includes the score, their perceived value or price, and the flavor notes or the smoking experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so our goal is to end the episode tonight with a little bit of discussion on value, price, and which cigar they enjoyed, including why.
Yes, because every cigar smoker eventually asks this question: is a $30 cigar really 3 times better than the $10 cigar?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really where things get interesting, hence the duel. And we're going to get into some conversation with these guests tonight. It's not going to be all Mel and I.
Yeah.
Just kind of set the ground here.
Right. And if you've been following Cigar Rebel for very long, you might know a little bit about our panelists. But if not, we also want to help you guys all get to know them a little bit better.
Absolutely. And so Mel's going to ask each of you guys, Roper, Chris, Leslie, Dwayne, a handful of questions to really help us get to know you a little bit better.
Right. So we're putting Roper in the hot seat first.
Yep.
First question: how long have you been smoking cigars?
About 14 years.
Okay.
Really started on my honeymoon in 2012.
Awesome. How many cigars on average do you smoke a week?
A week?
A week.
A week.
And this is the average.
Yeah,
so
just
you know.
You can guesstimate.
15 to 20.
A week, okay. And which?
It's probably more than that.
I mean, that would be my guess. But
What's that an average a day?
7.
It's,
Oh,
Oh, no, that's no.
hold on. Dang.
it's
3.
So, you know, since I work up here all day, I smoke 4 to 5.
Yeah.
But when I'm at the house, it's maybe 1 or 2.
okay. And if you could choose 2 cigars, which 2 cigars would you choose?
That's a tough one. But right now, I'd have to say the Liga Privada number 9 and the M81 Blacken.
That's a good one.
Probably my go-tos.
All right.
Okay.
Feedback on there. So now we're going to go ahead and we'll hear from Leslie. So Leslie, how long have you been smoking cigars?
I've been smoking for about 12 years.
Okay. And how many cigars do you think you smoke a week?
A week, probably 21,
Okay.
roughly about 3 a day.
Very exact right off the bat. You knew that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And which 2 cigars would you choose?
So I'm going to go from one extreme to the next. So my luxury, what I spoil myself with, is going to be the J.C. Newman Diamond Crown, but I like the number 5, the 4.5 by 54.
That is a fantastic cigar, and that's the perfect Vitola.
I personally have it in my mission in my shop to single-handedly smoke the entire box. Just saying.
Okay. That's awesome.
But then on the flip side of that, the other one that I just am so drawn to and just can't get enough of is the number 2 from McAuliffe.
Yeah.
Number 2
So
from
great
Macau.
pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great choice. Awesome.
Yeah, so both those are great choices.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're right, it is the extremes. You go from J.C. Newman's Diamond Crown, which is a luxury line, to this value bundle, newer release. So it's legacy that's been here forever and something that's been around for weeks, really, at this point. But
Right.
both excellent choices.
I don't know how the number 2 is doing in your shop, but we are struggling to keep it in with ours. The number
We're
2
about
and the
to.
660.
In our shop, it really had a little bit of a weird start because when we did Cigar Fest, everybody who bought the Connoisseur Plus pack got a full bundle free with the ticket.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we went through about 150 bundles in one day.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And so it just was gone. And so now we've just brought them back in. They just actually arrived today. So we've been out. And so because of that initial launch for us. But people are asking for it, which means they're enjoying it.
Yes. So I'll ask you again next month how you're doing with it.
So before we move forward, want to go ahead and check in on the cigar we're currently smoking?
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you guys thinking about this cigar so far?
it started out super light. The cold draw and just the smell of the cigar before light, I was thinking like a light wood. Kind of made me think like a match, but not the bad part of the match, but just the wood, that light wood. I don't know why it made me think there versus just a typical hay, but I don't know. And then once lit it, it was just a mellow, kind of a sweetness there, just a sweetness on the creamy side, like a sweet hay, but just light.
Yes.
And then it kind of picked up from there.
All right. Dwayne, Leslie, what are your thoughts?
I'm getting green tea, raisin. It's very creamy. Those fruit notes are coming through, but they're fading away as I enter the last third. But it is a mild cigar, but I am enjoying it.
Yeah, so I get the creamy, I get a little subtle white pepper on the retro. I'm getting more plum, which Dwayne got a little bit of raisin. I got more of the plum, juicy, sweeter notes off of it. And then also as I go towards the middle, I'm getting some very, very subtle cedar.
Okay.
So I love that commentary. Roper, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
So mine started with a little bit of that woodiness, a little bit of that. I got a little bit of that sweet raisin note right at the beginning. Now I smoke real fast. I'm nearly done. And I will say that for me, the pepper built the entire time.
Yeah.
Like now this back end is just a pepper bomb, and I'm loving it. Like I don't want to put it down.
Yeah.
And like I thought the first, maybe not even third, but just the first little bit, there was a quick finish, and then that white pepper started kind of lingering, and then it kind of intensified, and then I think once I broke over to that last third, I think it's more in my middle of the tongue, more of a red pepper, and it kind of just finishes long in the mouth a little bit longer. So that's kind of cool to have it, shift like that.
What do you think, Mel?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. The pepper, I was going to say, this last third, it is all over my lips and on the tip of my tongue. Like just that, it's just lingering there, which is.
So for our live audience, for you guys watching today that is watching live, we'd love for you to go ahead and drop in the notes what you're smoking or maybe pairing tonight so we can kind of follow along and we'll share it in the notes. But we also have a small live audience with us here in studio tonight. And a lot of them, maybe all of them, are smoking the cigar with this. What are y'all thinking? Good so far?
Right. Yeah. Really.
Everybody says great. It's really good.
Easy
Thumbs
draw.
up.
Yeah.
Nice clean burn.
Yeah. Chris has got a great ash going.
Yeah,
Just
you're
let
brave.
it hang.
Yeah.
While I'm sitting by you, if it'll fall on me.
Yeah, it'll fall on
It
me.
might fall on
I keep
you.
having to be careful because I'm moving my cigar around and I want to accidentally
Yeah, absolutely. So this is great having a lot of people on. I love this. So Mel, let's go ahead and go into the conversation and kind of talk to our next other panelists.
So we're going to go back to getting to know our panelists a little bit more, and we're going to go ahead and go with the Dwayne now. So how many cigars would you say on average you are smoking a week?
14, 2 a day.
Okay. And how long have you been smoking cigars?
Just shy of 40 years.
Okay. And which 2 cigars would you choose?
That is a tough question.
Hard to choose, but
it's the
we're
worst
putting you on the
question,
spot.
right?
I love the Perdomo 12th anniversary. That is probably my favorite Perdomo.
Okay.
I also like the Garofalo La Familia Maduro. But if I could throw one more in there, it would be the M81.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that cigar.
You would be right there with Roper and Mel, who both love the M81.
We vary on our size choices, but
Mel thinks it smokes best in the Corona. Roper wants the Toro.
Yes.
Usually the Robusto.
Oh, the Robusto.
However, the last several times, I think I've enjoyed it more in the Corona. So I won't complain. I won't complain about the grown-up sizes.
all right. So lastly, we're going to move on to Chris. Chris, how long have you been smoking cigars?
Hold on, I had the math in my head. Yeah, almost like 19 years.
Okay.
And then I would say I do remember going to my first cigar lounge. A cigar store and not a tobacco kind of bar and pipe place in 2010. And that's when my cigar game got, kicked up a notch. And so that definitely intensified the journey there, smoking more and more enjoyable cigars from there.
Awesome.
Oh, you're going to ask me the top
I am.
two.
I'm gonna ask you
I
the top
think for
two
that,
next.
it would be more about two types, right? Because if I had to pick two, I'd love to have a creamy option, like a Bentley.
Yeah.
That still has some strength in there, but it's kind of got that creaminess. I love that in the morning to start. And then I love finishing with a dark, a heavy Maduro, some pepper. So like that LFD, like is it double Hero with the chisel shape? Like that's just one I really always enjoy. It's long, so it's a good long smoke. And so I like that. The Story's composition, and the Story Odyssey, both of them are hard to pick. But I could also land on like a Story's composition if I had to pick one, because that one would satisfy a lot of the day. I can enjoy it. It's interesting.
Which, for those of you Rebels watching, the composition is the elevated humidor Maduro, and then you said the Odyssey. Was the other one, right? That's the Sumatra Royale.
Sumatra Royale. Yep, had one last night.
So those are
really good ones that I just,
because people are going to be asking, where do I get that one? You get the Odyssey and the composition at Stories.
The really great thing that's out there that's fun is the Maduro cigar just got rated fairly highly, low 90s from 2 different review panels, which was great. Yep. Sumatra Royale has not been reviewed officially, but a couple of guys that do groups reviewed it and was an 89 with one group and a 92 in the other. And so definitely a great grouping on that. And they smoked it blind. They didn't know what it was. Yep. And so we'll take that. And it's been one of those things that's pretty fun to really work through that. And so it's good to see guys on tonight. Call out to Richard, I see. Carter Shaw, amazing views of the beach, absolutely. Thanks for being on tonight. Douglas, it's good to see you. And I saw that you got a new motorcycle, my friend. Loving that. He's smoking the Paladin by Hooten Young. He said that he got it earlier today at Stories. So love that. Thank you for supporting the lounge and the podcast, but also always great to see you. We met Douglas at the first ever cigar event that we did 5.5 years ago, where we met Krista and Mark. Douglas was also there, and so that's been a great relationship we've really been as a part of. And then, of course, Leslie's thrown out a great, says they're great. Kevin and Mel own their own cigar brand called the Elevated Humidor. Melrose, then we need to get them in our shop. Absolutely agree. We would love that. We would love to come to South North Carolina and visit you guys in the shop and hang out. I got to get back to the social. I loved going there as well, but I'd love to drop into y'all's shop. So
Kevin, I'm going to pop in and interrupt you. Kartik, who's in the chat tonight, he owns the cigar shop that I work at.
Oh, awesome.
So he actually owns 2 shops, one in Spartanburg, one on west side of Spartanburg and one in Boiling Springs. And so he is the owner of our shop. So I had sent him the link to the podcast tonight. So he popped in and said hello. So
perfect.
Great.
Welcome. Thank you for hopping on and joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's the name of the shop in Spartanburg?
So the one that I work at is Sir Tom's. Okay. And the one in Boiling Springs is Boiling Springs Cigar and Wine.
How long Sir Tom's been there?
Since 1996.
Okay. We smoked there one night. Because it's open a little later, right?
We're open until 6, so typically not. So
we went one day. We went somewhere. We smoked at a shop till about 5:30, and they were closing. And so then we moved to another shop back in Greenville, and so that's awesome.
That is wonderful.
Just because we want to keep the episode going and keep moving, it's time for you guys to rate the first cigar. So if you 4 panelists would take a few minutes, fill out, if you haven't, count up, get your score. Don't share it with us. We're going to do that at the end. While you guys take a few moments to do that, Mel and I are going to talk about value versus price. So Mel, if you want to jump right in there.
Right. So the first one is going to be what you think the price should be for that cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this cigar, if you want to write down what you think the price of the cigars, remember we're smoking one under 13 and one over 32, really. We're not asking you to rate which one this one is. We're saying for the value of the smoke you had, what would you pay for the cigar? If that's $12, if it's $18, if it's $6, whatever it is, what you think that is. So talking about price and value is an interesting conversation when it comes to cigars.
Right. And I think it's a question really that we all should be asking really for most things, but especially when it comes to cigars. And the reason for that is that price and value are not the same thing. And really, even over the last year, not even close.
Yeah,
as stuff
absolutely.
has been coming out.
Price is what you pay. Value is what you receive.
So let's say you're going to spend $30 on a cigar. If that cigar gives you 90 minutes of enjoyment, perfect. The construction, amazing flavor, and a memorable experience, you're probably going to feel pretty good about it.
Absolutely. But if you spend $30 and you get a plug cigar that burns sideways, that just tastes average.
Yeah, suddenly that price point is going to feel really painful.
And I agree 100%. But if we flip the script, suppose you pay $12 for a cigar. It's a great draw. It's a great flavor, fantastic construction. You're probably calling your buddies or shooting them a text before you're finished.
Right. And I think that is because that value it creates excitement. The price creates expectations.
Absolutely. And so that's the difference between price and value. So let's go ahead and grab the second cigar and let's get this going. Let's do a couple of cold draws on it. Leslie and Dwayne have the second cigar. Roper is passing out our second cigars now. As you can see, both of the cigars that we're smoking are a Connecticut. And so we're doing that. You guys want to take a couple of cold draws and see what you think? On the cold draw of this one, I'm really getting just very smooth, soft, and almost a soft wood. Anybody else getting anything else in the cold draw?
Soft wood, maybe a little bit like that hay feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not hay as much, Roper, as it's like if you're walking by the hay field,
Yeah.
you can kind of smell it and get that flavor. Has anybody ever experienced that?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like wood is strong. I mean,
I'm getting fresh cut grass.
Okay. I could agree with that. And again, to me, Dwayne, it's more of the smell of fresh cut grass, right? Like when you're like somebody just mowed a big patch of grass. We're at a university on Friday and they just mowed and you're walking across it and it's like, God, it just smells good.
Yes.
It also makes you want to sneeze.
It's true.
All right. Anybody have any other thoughts? If not, we're going to go ahead and cut this cigar, or we've already cut it. We're going to go ahead and light this cigar, and the lighting is brought to you tonight by the Elevated Humidor.
Some moments deserve more than just passing by. They deserve to be celebrated. That's the philosophy behind the Elevated Humidor. Born from a passion for hand-rolled premium cigars, TEH blends world-class tobaccos from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua into cigars crafted with tradition, precision, and purpose. Whether you're marking a milestone, closing a deal, or simply taking a well-earned pause, the Elevated Humidor turns a simple moment into a lasting memory. With 4 distinct collections crafted to satisfy every palate, there's truly something for everyone. Explore the smooth refinement of the Velvet Collection, the elevated sophistication of the Elegant Collection, the timeless character of the Core Collection, or the flavor experience of our Infused Collection. Visit your preferred tobacconist and ask for the Elevated Humidor by name. If you don't find us on the shelf, our premium collections are available online through our trusted retail partner, Two Guys Cigars, bringing exceptional craftsmanship and unforgettable experiences directly to your door. The Elevated Humidor. Celebrate life the elevated way.
All right, as always, thank you to our sponsors. Now that we have this one lit, are you guys getting any flavor notes off of there? How is it treating you?
Just on the first couple of draws, that creaminess and butteriness really comes from the cold draw through to the first couple of draws. Leslie, Dwayne, do y'all agree?
Still
Roper?
some of that woody.
I agree.
Yeah. There's some white pepper in there already.
There is some pepper in this one already. So Mel, let's go ahead and talk about upcoming shows real quick before we get back into it. So next week, we have a great episode for you Rebels on June 22nd, Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, Coffee and Cigars, the perfect pairing. And we're going to be smoking Arts and Craft by the Elevated Humidor.
On June 29th, it is America 250 celebrations of cigars and more, and we will be smoking.
Oh, I love that firecracker.
Firecracker on that one.
Yep. And then on July 6th, we have Cigar School 101. We're going to how to cut and light a cigar the right way. And we're going to be smoking the Paladin, Connecticut by Hoot and Young.
And June 13th is Industry Conversation, and we are still deciding. That is to be determined.
Yep. And so we're finalizing one of two guests, and we're going to be smoking their cigars. We just don't know who's going to be on this one and who's going to be on in August. And so we're just trying to figure out that. However, cigar packs for the Rebel pack, which this is a great little throw to, the Rebel pack is going to be shipping out here in just a handful of days. Today's what, the 15th? So in about 5 or 6 days. And so we will definitely have it decided by then so the cigar can go out to everybody. Really excited about those opportunities and definitely wanting to make sure that we get that out to everybody. As Mel said, thank you so much for all of our sponsors, and you'll hear from a few more of them here in a little bit. But Mel, let's jump right back into the topic.
Yes, so I've got a question for our panelists, and that is going to be, how would you define value when it comes to cigars? Because we're talking a lot about value in cigars.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? And anyone can jump in at any time.
They're all thinking. I can talk because I'm opinionated.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop in here. So to me, when Dwayne and I smoke a cigar, we typically 9 times out of 10 we smoke the same cigar at the same time, and we will take a picture of the band if it's something we haven't smoked before, but our telltale is it box worthy? After we've smoked it, is it box worthy? That doesn't mean that we're going to rush out the next day and buy a box. It just means, is it worth investing in a box of the cigars? Just like with restaurants and cocktails or food or whatever, we will give something 3 chances. And we want to smoke it. For me, if it's something I haven't smoked before, I'm going to smoke it. I'm going to pair it with a white wine, because the white wine does not alter the flavor notes. The next time that I smoke it, I'm going to smoke it with a Pinot Noir or a Cabernet Sauvignon, because that deep red wine is just going to enhance the flavors of the cigar and pull out those strong notes that I want to get from the cigar. And then the third time, it's either going to be, it's not going to be a third time, or it's box worthy, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it and try not to rate it.
That makes complete
Yeah,
sense.
I like that, because when at first it was always, I'd get a cigar, like it's a new cigar I haven't smoked before, I'd get one, I want to try it. And then I quickly learned I needed to get 2 or 3, so that way I could have a few, attempts at it to then really decide, hey, I'd buy this again, or, maybe, someone gave it to me, cool, kind of have a rating there. But I like that box worthy. That's smart.
For me, for me, is it something I would be willing to share with somebody else?
Yeah.
And recommend, because if I'm not willing to recommend it, I don't need to purchase it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked earlier before the show, and again, I'm not going to share the cigar, that I bought 2 very expensive cigars for Mel and I to smoke. And it had been a long week, and we finally got time to sit on the deck, and we were watching the finale of Top Chef, a stupid chef show on TV that Mel and I like to watch. And so we lit it up. It was the finale. We're smoking it, and I was like, I have these on order for the shop, but I probably would not buy another one.
Yeah.
But other people love the cigar. And you know, that's the really difficult thing when you talk about value, is what some person loves, other people may not, and vice versa, which makes that extremely difficult.
Yep. And I would say normally if you and I are smoking the same thing and trying it out, we don't talk a lot because you might really like it or I might really like it. But that cigar in particular, we had very similar opinions on. And I remember I looked at you when it was almost done. I was like, I don't know about this one. And you were like, me either. So neither of us were blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Roper, what about you? Do you have any thoughts on value, what you would think when it comes to what's the value of a cigar? How do you define it?
Well, I think Leslie pretty well hit it on the head. It's, you know, I want to try 2 or 3 of them. I'm not going to just smoke it the one time. And because, you know, cigar flavor can change based on just whether you had a good or a bad day, you know? And I like the Is It box worthy. I think that hits the nail right on the head.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good comparison and kind of guideline, right?
Yeah.
Is that worth it?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I like when we have the opportunity to smoke things blind like this, just because you take price out of the equation sometimes, because when you're trying something, you know, okay, this cigar is $15 and you're already kind of thinking, is the value there where I'd want to buy this again, or is it box worthy? And I love it when it's blind and you really don't even know the price for sure, because then you're really just focused on the cigar. I'd want to have this again, and then you can kind of learn the price later. Yeah, it's always a cool opportunity.
yeah, absolutely. So what do you guys think about Mel's comment from earlier that value creates excitement while price creates expectation?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that all hinges it, because when you know the price, there's already the expectation, and you're already going into it thinking, is this worth the $18? Does it hold up to some of the other cigars around that same price? Or, man, should I have reached for a McAuliffe instead? And so that expectation is hard to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so without naming the cigar, have you guys ever purchased an expensive cigar that really left you disappointed or really questioning, why did I spend that much on this cigar?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, and do you think it's even more times, is it a disappointment than a surprise? Because I feel like whenever it's a splurge, it's very rare is it like that was well worth it. It seems a little more often of like, you know, okay, it was good, but I don't know if I'd want to buy that continually at that price, because I could get this other one for $12 that I love.
And what I think is interesting is I'm pretty sure everyone in our live audience, all of us, have all said yes to that question. You have bought a cigar that you did not think was worth what you paid for it.
For me, if I spend a lot of money on a cigar expecting the best and get an inferior product, I won't buy that brand again until somebody sells me on the concept again.
Okay.
And even at that, I'm probably not going to go back.
So I'm gonna name a cigar because it's the opposite. I bought the God of Fire KDP. They were $79 for a Toro Grande, so it's a 6 1/4 by 56. I bought it. We were watching the Super Bowl, and I bought it for a few people, so I bought 5 of them and gave them out, and we all smoked them together. And it outperformed the expectation that I had for it. Now, I will tell you, some of that came with, I bought it for other people that would never buy more than a $12 or $13 cigar for themselves. And I bought them a $70-something cigar, and it was fun just to smoke with them. So was the experience what made it worth it, or was the cigar worth it? And that's a really difficult conversation or concept. But I enjoyed it, and I've smoked some since then and really enjoy that cigar. But to me, that's the exception. There's another cigar very similar to that. Mel and I were in Indiana, and I just had a pretty big business opportunity. A really great thing happened that I've been working about 20 months on. I needed a vote from a large group of people for the project to move forward. So to give you an example, there were 220 people in the audience when I presented. I needed 209 of them to vote yes to move this project forward, and we got 211.
Wow.
So Mel and I went to the Blend Bar in Indiana that night. I bought a $80 pour of bourbon that I would never normally buy. And then I spent $100 even on a cigar. And I'd never seen it. I'd heard about it. It's very rare. And I'm like, this is worth tonight. And I smoked it, and it was good. But it was not great. The next cigar I smoked was the Blends Bar's house brand that's made by Henry Kellner, $11.20. And that cigar was fantastic. And I told Mel, I was like, I should have just bought 11 of these for the same price, right? I mean, and again, there's nothing wrong for that rare occasion to do something special, but man, it's hard to live up to the dollar amount.
Yep.
So Kevin, to make you feel better, the God of Fire, we sell those left and right in both of our shops back home. That is one of our, as far as our high-end cigars,
Yeah.
that's one of our best sellers. I haven't had it yet. I'll say yet. That's just one of those special occasion. We'll get there one day, but
No, absolutely. If I'm going to buy an expensive cigar, I'm typically going to grab an Atabey or a Byron 1850 or a Bandolero Premium. That tends to be what I lean toward, even over an Opus, over a God of Fire, over a high-end Plasencia. But again, all that's preference.
Well, and they have a track record of being really worth it. Yeah, all those that you mentioned are ones that we've smoked, and at the end of it, it was like, wow, this was worth a nice splurge, or this was a great celebratory.
So when we go to New England for the expo, for Leslie and Dwayne and those rebels watching that know what that is, when we go to that, we have a tradition on Saturday night to sit around a fire and smoke a Byron 1850. We did it for Chris's birthday the first year we went. That's why we did it, and it just has become an annual thing. The expo is typically pretty close to Chris's birthday, and so we celebrate with a good stick. And
that might be what made it so good. But it was a wonderful, enjoyable cigar. It was worth it.
so
I think someone else bought the cigar that first year, so that probably also led to how good it was.
So a little bit off topic, and I apologize, but do you carry the Opus there at Stories?
We do sell Opus when we can get it.
Okay. So how does your Opus do in comparison to your Atabeys and your Byrons?
So the problem with it, Leslie, is Opus sells extremely quickly when we get it. We typically have it in for a couple of days, although last time we had that box of Opus for about a month, which was surprised me.
Well, but it depends what else is in the humidor at the time.
Did y'all hear what Chris said?
Yes.
Yeah. And so the rarity and how rare you can get them creates the demand quicker.
Okay.
But in a comparison, I believe our shop and live audience with us can thumbs up or thumbs down. The feedback has been they enjoy the Atabeys and the Byrons better.
Okay.
But that's been so. A couple of thumbs up, a couple of no, but.
So what do y'all think about, and it might just be me, but there's a pressure whenever, so I got the God of Fire, and then there was another Opus that we had, and I picked it up, 2 of them, one for me and my wife, and they're still in the humidor, and it's been months because it's that waiting for that right opportunity of like palate's right, it's a good, maybe a celebratory, opportunity, and so still waiting on that, and so because of the price and then the expectation, I'm kind of like, well, I need a good enough opportunity to enjoy it. And so I'm pretty bad about doing that versus I can pick up some others. Like I already had several of those. I know it's good. Yeah. I'll have this one tonight instead, and maybe we'll save that for another time.
Absolutely.
And so that kind of weighs on me from enjoying some of the special ones.
Do any of y'all struggle with that when you get a special cigar that you got to wait for the right time?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I've heard of others with the opposite. They're like, oh, heck no, I bought it and smoked it right there. You know, and I'm like, no, I got to wait on that.
Yeah. One of our live audience is like, yep. And David, you and I are like, I bought it today. It's smoking today. I smoked the Opus X as we were packing the humidor with it. I mean, it was like, this is the right time.
Yeah, I got to wait. Got to put a suit jacket on.
So let's flip the question a little bit. Have you ever bought a cigar at or around $10 that absolutely blew you away? In this one, feel free to share the brand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop up and say hands down it's McAuliffe all day.
Leslie said McAuliffe.
All day.
All day. In our live audience, 2 people said the McAuliffe Silver, I think, or McAuliffe as a whole. Yeah, it really is. I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think the $10 cigar just blew you away where the $50 to $100 cigar is just waiting?
Because there's no expectation.
Yeah, value's going to be there. Yeah, low pressure. I agree.
Yeah. What do you think, Dwayne? What do you think?
In this economy, every $10 cigar that's excellent, I can stretch my dollars and enjoy twice as many cigars as I can spending for an expensive cigar that I may or may not enjoy. So I like a $10 cigar because that seems to be the sweet spot now. You can't really find many below $10 that are consistently available on the shelf because they go pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But volume does come into play there when you know, like I'm smoking 20 or more cigars in a week. So knowing that, you know, I can load up on these and enjoy them a little freely and not worry about having 2, you know, back to back or whatever, that it helps.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the McAuliffe effect, right, guys?
Yeah, it's the McAuliffe effect, and Mel talked about last week. There's also the luxury effect, right? The luxury effect builds a level of expectation that, quite honestly, is probably very hard to overcome because you've built it up in your mind. Like Chris, you said, the perfect place, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't even mean that we're getting a $10 cigar that has a, you know, a poor band, and you know, like we're still getting the same experiences of a nice fancy band. The Racy's line, I mean, they're beautiful. Boxes are nice. The cigars are great. The price is good. You know, so
Roper, you bought a new house just recently after a little bit of a tragedy, and so y'all sit down and you shared a picture with us. First cigar on the new deck.
Yep.
What were you smoking and were drinking that night?
What was I smoking? I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
You were smoking.
yeah, I remember you sharing the picture.
I think you were smoking one of the Opus X's.
It was the toy maker.
The toy maker.
Toy maker I had, and I had a bottle of Antique 107 that I cracked open that night, and I really enjoyed it. Sitting on my new deck out there, and having a good smoke.
Yeah, but that's that kind of experience, right? In that experience, you mentioned it was fantastic, right?
What?
In that scenario, the toy maker Opus X is worth the value, right? And so that's really, really difficult.
Right. I think when you have that $8 to $10 cigar and it's just okay, it has met the expectation, even if it was just a cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. And that really is the psychology of premium cigars. Because here's something that nobody's talking about. Sometimes we taste the band. You mentioned that earlier, Chris, right? And not the cigar.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is accurate across the board. If you hand someone a cigar and tell them it's $35, instantly they're going to start looking for all of the complexity, all of the
and even if it's not there, they start convincing themselves that they're finding all of this complexity, these unique flavor notes. And, you know, really the question is, what do you guys think? And Chris, you mentioned earlier, Leslie, Dwayne, Roper, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about the statement that sometimes you simply smoke the band?
Well, I agree 100%. I mean, pick up.
There may be some truth to that.
Yeah. So why do you think that is, Dwayne?
Marketing, peer pressure. when you go into cigar shops, there's a lot of peer pressure because you want to keep up with the guy that's across from you. If he's got a band that might have cost him a little extra money, you want to not look like you're just being cheap. So yeah, I think in some respects that band does speak, but I still want to smoke what I like and what I'm going to walk away having pleasure from. But again, that pressure is on, especially in a lounge setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if it was recommended. I mean, if Roper tells me of a new cigar, like, oh, you haven't had this one yet, it's great. You're going to love it. I'm already excited about it. I'm kind of already starting at that cigar's got a higher success rate of me enjoying it just because he had a good recommendation. I'm going into it expecting it to be great versus just having to have it prove itself. So the band could definitely help with that as far as the brand that it's coming from and then the look of it. Yeah, I could be thinking, all right, this is going to be a good one because it's so fancy and nice.
And what about, so if you tell them it is an $8 cigar, what do you guys think happens as you are talking about that?
I think they come into it with a lot less expectation. It's a lot more like, well, an $8 cigar, maybe it's good, maybe it's not. And if it is, maybe I'll buy a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot less.
Lower risk.
Yeah. You pick up Davidoff or Placencia, there's a certain level of expectation there because of the price and the band and the name. But if, like Elevated Humidor, a little bit up and coming here, but I mean, a lot of their cigars are as good or better than a lot of the ones from the big brands. And it's,
Yeah, so when you tell someone it's an $8 cigar, a lot of what they do is they start looking for the flaws. Studies have shown repeatedly that people rate identical products differently solely based on the tag that's on it. From purses to clothes to bourbon. And the most unique study that's been done is Grey Goose was put up against Costco's vodka. They tested 5,000 people. Grey Goose outperformed Costco 9-1 in this study. At the very end of the study, with all the people, they had them all in an auditorium, and they announced how both of these vodkas are made. Same line. 6 bottles get Grey Goose, the next 6 bottles get Costco. 6 bottles get Grey Goose, the next 6 bottles get Costco. It's the same juice, same liquid, same manufacturing company, same assembly line, same bottle, different label.
Wow.
But yet, 4,700 people said that the Grey Goose was exceptional and the Costco was okay.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. And I think cigar smokers are not immune to that type of situation or scenario as well. I mean, everyone's human. We all carry our own biases, really. We want to talk about what's happening in the cigar industry right now, and value really is a huge conversation.
Yeah, as Dwayne said, with the economy, with inflation.
Yep.
2 of our cigar panelists tonight are in cigar shops every week working. What are you seeing around the value conversation? We'll start with Roper and then jump to you, Leslie. What are you seeing about people walking in off the street or members coming in? What's the value conversation happening?
well, with the value cigars, if I can find a cigar between $10 to say $15, I can sell it. It's going to move. That's what people are coming in looking for. You kind of get above that 15, then it's like, maybe. But anywhere between 10 and 15 bucks, doesn't matter what it is, what the band on it is, people will try it.
Okay. What about you, Leslie?
So for me, we've had a big influx of new cigar smokers. We are in a very large college town, and so I get a lot of people that are coming in wanting to learn about cigars. And so for me, it's easiest for me to turn them on to McAuliffe because I've got 2 rows of all the McAuliffe blends, and I can say all right, well, let's start here. You're going to remember this color. And then when you come back, you can tell me, is this, was it too mild? Was it too strong? Was it this? And then I know, can I go to this direction or that direction with you? But then as far as the number 2 goes, they look at that and they say, oh, that's a $5 or $6 smoke. That's a cheap, all of a sudden their light goes on and they're thinking gas station cigar. And I say, no. What they've done is they've taken all the trimmings from the color series and given it a second life and blended it into a cigar to bring you all of the flavors at once. And so, all of a sudden they're walking out with 2 or 3 of those. I would rather have somebody come in and buy 2 or 3 $6 smokes than one $12 smoke.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think the industry really is shifting for sure. And we mentioned it last week that 20 years ago, cigar enthusiasts, they just smoked cigars. Today, it really is sometimes an event that involves pictures, social media posts, conversations, all those things. What do you guys think that this is impacting cigar smokers' expectations and how they are exploring the cigar world today?
I just think there's more knowledge in general.
Do you think it's helpful? Do you think it hurts? Somewhere in the middle?
I think it's kind of in the middle. I think it's helpful that a customer has a better idea of what's coming and a little more of what to expect if they follow, reviewers who aren't just making it up. But I also think it hurts in that, it might create too much expectation for a cigar that's pretty good, but not phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
That's a good point.
I mean, because they're reading reviews, they're watching YouTube, they're listening to podcasts,
Yes.
they're researching before they're buying. I think there's great podcasts out there. I hope we're one of them that's helping people explore new cigars and not trying to tell them what's good or not, because palates are different. And then you have reviewers are out there that are trying to influence what to buy, and I don't necessarily love those.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want to promote positives when we talk about cigars. I don't want to be negative.
Right. Yeah,
It-
100%.
It'd be hard to overcome that negative. If you're like, yeah, I didn't really love the cigar, there's a 99% chance I'm not going to give that a shot.
Yeah.
So
And I think we've talked about in other podcasts, if you're going off of someone's opinion, how did they get that cigar?
You can
Did they
miss
pay for it? Did they get it for free? Are they maybe being paid to smoke it? Like, all of those things are going to impact whoever is sharing that cigar. It's going to impact probably their overall opinion of how they enjoy it.
Yeah. So I
And
want to.
I'm sorry, Kevin. Also, Mel, one thing that I will ask is, what were you pairing the cigar with when you smoked it? If your buddy was the one that told you about it, what were they pairing with it? That one little question can skew the whole flavor of the whole cigar.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely. To move us along a little bit, I'm going to ask one question, then we're going to rate the cigar here in just a moment. But here's something to ponder. What makes a cigar expensive? And a question for our panelists: why do some cigars cost $30?
Legacy, possibly.
yeah,
Okay. Legacy, it's a great one. Anybody else?
Rarity, how hard it is to get.
mm-hmm.
So who controls rarity?
Well, the manufacturers do. Sometimes it's based on a real we only have a limited amount of this tobacco. Sometimes it's we're only going to release 200 boxes of this.
Well, and even in the humidor, I mean, we're not going to stock up so many boxes deep of an expensive cigar. We're probably going to bring it in a smaller batch, so there's even a limited, access there. So it could be.
Yeah, and the reality is there's several reasons, right, Mel? I mean, there's aged tobacco, there's limited production. Roper, you mentioned rare wrappers, scarcity.
Yep.
What are some other ones, Mel?
There's regulations and customs. There's that limited production you guys were talking about. There's the brand positioning, and especially also we talk about packaging, how that affects the cigar as well.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Kartik said, nowadays with brands available, many like myself start comparing the cigar with similar ones and compare and contrast.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. Jay said aging, which is another great one. And I truly believe that some manufacturers intentionally make fewer cigars to drive demand. That creates price hikes. It creates the hunt that still occurs today.
Right.
And I think that's all true, right?
Yeah. And I think really to be clear, we talk about scarcity, rarity. I think the price, that doesn't mean that the cigar actually tastes 3 times better. I think it just means that there are market forces and other issues that are involved in the price.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a few moments and we're going to score Cigar 2, our panelists. And so again, score it on there. Make sure you write down what you think the score is. I'm going to write down what you think the strength is, your final score, some flavor notes. On the strength portion of the scoring, it's not necessarily what the strength is, it's how does it balance in the cigar. So if you scored the first one, you said this is a strength of 4 and you rated a 4, the 4 may not be the appropriate number on the scoring. That portion of the scoring is the balance. Is the strength appropriate for the rest of the cigar? To make sure that we get a right score there. Because if you score it low, it pulls the score down. That's unfair to the cigar as a whole. But it really is this scenario as you guys are rating it. And on that strength, it's a 1 to 10. There's a lot to think about and to talk about these 2 cigars. How do y'all feel about scoring? Is everything coming along pretty well for you guys?
Yeah.
It is.
It has been beautiful to watch the background change for you guys, Leslie and Dwayne. It has been amazing. It makes me want to take a trip up there tomorrow to join y'all because it is beautiful.
Come on, we've got plenty of room.
That's right.
Fly into Manchester. We'll meet you at 2 Guys.
That would be great.
Kevin, I think these 2
So while you
cigars
guys
are very
are scoring,
similar.
we're going to go ahead and
Hold on one second. What'd you say, Dwayne?
I think these 2 cigars are very similar.
Very similar. Yeah, I would agree they're similar.
So I was just gonna. Oh,
go for it.
I was just gonna say we're gonna take a quick break while you guys are wrapping up scores, and then we will be right back.
We fell in love with cigars not because of the flavors or smoking experience or perceived status, but because it allows barriers to fall between other humans and build deeper connections. For that reason, we've been super intentional to curate a space where people can find community and enjoyment with others, and cigars just happen to be the way we're doing it. For that reason, we are thrilled to be the one and only cigar retail store and lounge in downtown Lufkin. A good story is one of the most powerful tools used to connect with another human. Sharing stories fades out differences and highlights similarities found in the details or with the storyteller. Over the years, we have seen some of the best stories told over cigars, and thus, new friendships are made, passions shared, encouragement given, and so much more. The impact storytelling has on the human connection is why we've decided to name our store and lounge Stories. Because behind every good cigar and conversation is an even better story.
Back in 1905, under Montana skies, 100 satin factories rolled smoke for a while. Reminders of ranchers' life one grin. Now Big Sky Cigar is bringing that spirit back in.
Yellowstone River to the bold bighorn flow. Madison, Beirut, like what we know. And Lee from Nicaragua, San Andres to the Ecuador Roda.
And every box sold helps our veterans mend. With warriors and quiet waters, we lend a friend's hand. It's heritage burning in every draw. Big Sky Cigars, Montana's pride and law. Big Sky Cigar, where heritage flows with every draw.
Find your rear red Big Sky cigar to pop.
As always, thank you to our sponsors. Make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button below and follow us on social media to make sure you don't miss an episode or to catch up on any that you might have missed. And now we are going back to the Duel, and we are going to get to the big reveal.
Yeah, and so this is the moment of truth. Which cigar do you guys think is the expensive one, the first or the second? And we'll start with Leslie and Dwayne.
I'm going to go with the second one.
I agree.
The second one's the expensive cigar?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What about our audience here?
I hope not.
I'm gonna abstain. I rated the first cigar higher.
Okay.
But I also think I might know what it is.
Okay.
I rated the first cigar higher, and I did enjoy it more. For the second cigar, it stayed. And tell me if y'all are picking something else, because maybe it's just me, but I was kind of getting the same pepper. It did intensify, but it just kind of.
Not a lot of complexity.
Yeah, it was kind of the same throughout. I had a little bit tighter draw in the first half. It did chill out, and now it's drawing, I'd say, pretty perfect now. So I'm still enjoying it, but I just naturally enjoyed the first one better. I thought it had a lot more things going on and changing, and then this one stayed pretty.
So Dwayne, you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to say, just because I think the second was more expensive doesn't mean I like it any better. I think the first one smoked excellent.
Yes.
All right.
So we're going to get to that, but I want to hear a second. Why do you think the second one was the expensive one? What is your thought on that?
The cigar was actually tighter packed. It held together better than the first one, in my opinion.
No, it's perfect. All right, Mel, you had a
All
question.
right. So for cigar number one, I want to know from each of you the score, what you scored it, the strength number, and the price redemption. And just to keep it easy, we'll go Chris, Leslie, Dwayne, Roper. We'll just go kind of how I have the lineup. So Chris, we'll start with you.
All right, so 88 was my score on the first one. I thought the strength level was like 4 to 5. If we're not just true strength. And then second cigar.
His first cigar.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So
So
what do you think the price? What would you price it? What would you pay for?
Well, I'm always optimistic on the value, so I was hoping for $15.
All right,
I could
$15.
pay more.
All right, $15. All right, Leslie, you're up.
All right. So for me, I gave it an overall of an 87. To me, it was more of a mild to medium, a 3 to 4. And then as far as price goes, I would love to see it at around $12, 12 to 14, somewhere in there.
I gave it a 4. Overall was an 85, and I think it's a $12.99 cigar.
Okay.
All right. Roper. I gave it an 88. Strength, that was kind of like Chris, 4 to 5. I would pay $16, $18 for it.
Dang,
Okay.
baller. All right.
So you four reviewers are pretty hard, which is great.
yeah.
Our live audience, a couple people said 90, 92. I scored this cigar separately. I don't know, Mel, you and I have scored it. I went back and looked. Our score was low 90s on it. And so that makes sense. So let's talk about cigar number 2. Let's go opposite. Roper, Dwayne, Leslie, Chris. So cigar 2, tell us your rating, your strength, overall thoughts.
So I gave it an 84 overall. I had a little bit of a construction issue with it. Strength, I thought it was milder. I thought it was about a 3, maybe a 4. And based on how much I enjoyed it, I paid $10, $12.
I gave it an 86. I think it was a 5. And I put it at $22.
Okay.
So for me, I scored it low. I'm sorry. I scored it an 85. It was more of a 4 to 5 on the strength for me. And for price, I was putting it around $18.
All right. Chris?
Well, okay, I had a lower score of 78. Draw was tighter on the first half. And I did think the construction and all that was really great. I'm glad to hear y'all's strength was a little higher because I thought this one was more of a 5 on the strength level. And I'm shooting for a $12 value on the
$12.
$12.
All right. So we rated this one. I rated a little higher. I rated a 90 on it. But So if we're going to know cigar number 1, the combined rating of y'all 4, because I added y'all's 4s up, we're at an 87 for cigar number 1. Cigar number 2 came in at an 84. So 87 and 84 was the final result if you take and average y'all's out. So,
So with that, if you chose the expensive one as like the one that you liked better as the expensive one, do you think that it was worth 2 to 3 times more than the other cigar that you smoked?
Yes, absolutely.
so you think the second one was worth twice the cost of the first one?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if,
Sorry, I misunderstood. No.
yeah. So
No,
let's just say this: which cigar did you like best? 1 or 2, Chris?
1.
1. Leslie?
1.
1.
1.
1. 1. Okay. So if it turned out that 1 is the expensive cigar, is it worth twice the cost of the number 2?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So everybody's a yes. Okay. So Mel, let's reveal
Okay.
what was cigar number 1's price.
Cigar number 1 was under $13.
Heck yeah.
Cigar number 1 was under $13.
And everyone in the audience is very excited about that.
Because they all
Yes.
smoked
Yes.
cigar 1. So Mel, why don't you go ahead and tell us what we smoked tonight?
All right, so cigar number 1 was the new cigar coming out by the Elevated Humidor, Velvet Gold.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. So cigar number 2 was the expensive cigar. It was over $28. As I said, I paid $32.50 for the cigar for us 6 to smoke it. And that cigar, y'all ready for what it is? Any guesses?
Yes.
It was the Davidoff Grand Cru, Connecticut.
Wow.
Wow.
So they're very similar. I would go for number 1 all day.
Yes.
I mean, you did a great job picking these because flavor profile, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
So back to my earlier comment, was it box worthy? Number 1 cigar, absolutely, that is box worthy.
Love that.
So, yes.
Yeah, and so today's winner really wasn't a cigar. It was perspective. Right?
I think the price matters, the quality matters, craftsmanship matters, and the value matters.
Yeah, the best cigar isn't always the most expensive cigar, right, guys? I mean, it's the cigar that some friends like each of you, we can sit down and enjoy together. It's the cigar that delivers the experience that you're looking for. That's the best cigar.
Right. Some days that is the $30 luxury smoke, and some days that's the $10 workhorse that over delivers. And so the beauty of the hobby is that there is room for both.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I truly was hoping that the panel would choose cigar 1.
I was hoping to.
However,
I had my gracious loser face ready.
So when is it coming out?
So it will come out probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. So that gives me time to get back home and tell Kartik that he's got to order me a box of them.
Awesome. We can take care of it. So Chris's team just finished designing the bands, and that's really we have the cigars here. They're ready. And we have more in production already because we felt like this was going to be a big cigar for us. And so we've got production rolling. We've got some here, some aging, and then new production starting. We're just getting bands, and I think we finally got our bands figured out, Chris, and kind of situated. Chris did a lot of work on it. His team did a fantastic job. And so to our panelists tonight, what are your final thoughts on the Duel concept and the cigars that we smoked tonight?
Yeah, it was great. And like it was said, I mean, that was a great pick out. That way we had 2 cigars that were very similar to kind of go up against each other versus having 2 very contrasting ones, which that's fun too, but this was great.
It goes to show, I'm sorry, Chris. It goes to show you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a great smoke, and the value is well worth the cost.
And if we were at the blend bar and we all had that same Davidoff, and we'd have enjoyed it and it'd have been still great. We just would have paid a little bit more for the same experience.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Roper, any final thoughts from you?
Well, I'm proud that I did guess what the first cigar was, which is why I abstained. It's a great smoke. I'm looking forward to it. And no, it was a good perspective. I enjoyed the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate all four of you guys being on here with us tonight.
It was fun.
The concept was designed, and when we designed the concept, we didn't know which two cigars we were going to do. And we were trying to pursue and figure out which cigars we're going to do. And we finally decided, hey, you know what? Let's put up a Connecticut that we blended in a way to really compete in the Connecticut market as a flavorful, medium-bodied cigar. And I think you guys all kind of hit that in that 4-ish, 5-ish notes strength that y'all said. And thought, you know what? Even if Davidoff won today, the conversation of what is the value worth it, we thought we would still stand tall at the end of the day. So thank you guys. And so Mel, why don't you take us out here for a second?
Yes, thank you guys, our panelists, also our live audience that was with us through this whole episode tonight. We could not have done it without you. If you liked this episode, please leave us a review, share with your cigar friends, and hit us up with any topics you would love for us to dive into future episodes.
Yeah, if you're watching or listening on the replay, go ahead and do #ReplayFam and let us know what you are smoking, what you thought of the Duel, and what you think about cigar value. You can do that on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere you get your streaming podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. And you can always follow us along on social media at Cigar Rebel. Go ahead and click that subscribe button if it's your first time tonight. Also on YouTube, you can click notify, and it'll let you know a few days ahead of time and earlier on Mondays that we're going live. We do go live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, and so we're excited to have you along for the journey. For those who put in a lot of comments tonight, we're sorry we did not get to all the comments tonight. It was hard to manage all the microphones as well as. We don't have a producer. I produce as we go. But thank you all for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you guys all for tuning in. And don't forget, as Kevin said, to subscribe and leave us a review. Until next Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time, keep your cigar lit, your ash long, and your palate curious.
Good night, Rebels.
Good night.